Good afternoon, good evening, all. I wanted to bring to you an energy update for the month of July. And as we all know, it's better late than never. So I know today is July 3rd, but I feel called forward to bring to you a general understanding of what is going on energetically on this planet Earth that we are all living on at the moment. And, first, I just want to start out by, for anyone who's watching me live on YouTube, welcome to my channel. This channel is all about awakening. And if you resonate with this content, please do invite, like, subscribe, and share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I'm always interested in knowing what our community is up to and considering and experiencing and thinking about. And for those of you who are tuning in my private Facebook community, Accelerate Your Life 2021, again, please comment, feel free to invite like-minded individuals into this group of awakening souls. So I want to bring this update to you today with gratitude and love and support from the universe. It's something that I am intuitively channeling for the collective. And I just want to talk about the energy that is upon us for the month of July and probably following us through till the end of the year in some respects, although we will see fluctuations going forward. And I want to start off by acknowledging the fact that our world is opening up after a long sleeping period of transformation known as our pandemic. Markets are opening, businesses are opening, people are enjoying the weather, they're out of the home, gathering with friends and community. And I just want us to take a step back and observe the changes that have taken place, because I hear a lot of people say, I can't wait for the world to go back to normal. I can't wait for my life to go back to normal. And I'm sure you've heard this, but I will kind of reiterate it and repeat it again. This is going to be a new version of normal. And the reason is because things have changed. People have changed. Businesses have changed. The economy has changed. Political institutions and situations have changed. And our entire world has actually shifted into a new vibration. And what that means is that the new normal is a normal accepting the changes that we've all been through. So that brings me to our first point with regard to the energy that is flowing right now. And I call this point number 1, flow and action. So right now you may be experiencing bursts of energy which bring you into a state of excitement, getting out there, meeting with people, taking action, really starting to work on ideas. And there may be a flux of that energy, could be within the same week or even in the same day, where you feel, and we feel as a collective, that we need to take a step back, slow down, get some more rest, and have more quiet. And I feel like there will be this fluctuation of energy kind of going on over the next month or so, where we have the energy to take action. We also will feel that we need to sit back, rest, and gain more quiet. I just want you to honor that fluctuation of energy during this time, because it's almost like observing the rhythm of your life, the way that you tick, the way that you function best. And everyone is a little bit different. We honor where everyone is at on their journey. So flow and action, right? Going with the flow of the energy, feeling those creative waves and bursts of, intuitive action, and then also understanding when we need to take a step back and relax and take it easy and gain some quiet. There's a big theme around, this new world and new you. And not everyone is going to feel the urge to go back to work in such an intensive way and to kind of jump back into life and social situations. Again, observing the new world and the new you and how you show up in that world. So who are you now? How different are you from 18 months ago, more or less, when this pandemic kicked off? How do you choose to spend your time? Where do you want to spend your life, your time, your energy? How much quiet do you require in order to maintain balance? How much action do you require to maintain momentum? And I think for a lot of us, this will be a period of mass creativity. So there may have been projects or ideas or things that have been put on the back burner. But now is a time where we are going to see a lot of these creative ideas, projects birthing into the world. It might even feel like an explosion of everything just coming out of you and starting to work and put it into action. And that's where we're going to feel this flow in action dynamic coming into place. It's like a burst of creativity, putting so many things into action and taking a step back to slow down and feel into where you're at. And take some time for yourself. So a rush of creativity, observing the new world, observing the new you, and really taking control of how you show up in this new existence and this new life and this new world. So a lot of you may be feeling the urge to ask yourself a question like, what is my contribution? And I urge you to consider that every little effort you make is a part of the greater collective. So although it may seem small, we're all a part of what's going on here. Every little action, every little effort that you take every day contributes to the wider picture, the bigger cause, the new world, the new you. And the more of us that can stand true in our power and in our authenticity, in the way we live our life, the bigger the ripple effect is going to be in the collective. So that kind of brings me to the next point, which is around triggers and boundaries. And a lot of people will be noticing that there are some really intense triggers happening lately. They may be in relationships, they may be in the state of the world, they may be in decisions that were made, they may be around injustices. But what I'd like you to do is observe these triggers because they are there as an awakening soul. We observe that these triggers are in our path and in our life and in our way so that we can observe why we are being triggered. What is it in us that feels so sensitive to certain topics, to certain people, to certain conversations, to certain institutions, decisions that are being made, comments? Underlying these triggers are belief systems buried deep in the subconscious, wounds from the past, childhood, and we may even look into our past lives. But what is the trigger attached to? And I would like to encourage you to ask, how can this trigger serve me in my life? How can this trigger work for me to help move me forward in a more graceful and rapid pace? And as we all know, triggers are intense. They don't feel good. They hurt, they're painful, they're upsetting. But when we can take a step back and do the work and ask ourselves why, what, when, where is this really coming from? We're able to release that energy. And the reason why I link boundaries together with triggers is because a lot of our triggers will come from boundaries around our new self. As the world tries to pull us back into the old way, we need to stand firm and strong in the new self, the deeper self, the more authentic self, the self that has realized through this period of change and transformation that it is critical to put up strong boundaries fueled with self-love for our well-being, our mind, body, and spirit, so we can achieve greater balance in our lives. So triggers, I sense, will be linked to your boundaries in many ways this month. So I ask you, not only what is the cause of this trigger, what is my underlying belief, but what is the boundary that I can start to implement into my personal behavior, life, and ways in order to support myself on the next phase of my life journey. Remember, new world, new you. So the next point that I'd like to come to with regard to the energy for July is around releasing the divide and healing. Many of us will notice as we step out into this new world that there is a lot of division going on. There's a lot of polarity in religion, in politics, in behaviors, in the way people speak, act, feel about different topics and issues. There's a lot going on about self-identity, about race, about all sorts of matters of justice. And it's so quick to step into a reactive state and make a judgment fueled with anger, resentment, and possibly hatred, right? Or just, bitterness. It's so quick to react and judge. But the energy right now is really encouraging us as a collective on our ascension to take a step back and observe once again, and to understand that we all have many, many different perceptions. We can have different opinions, different ways, but we are still all connected. So I ask you to find more compassion in your heart this month, more compassion for other people, honoring different opinions. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but it also doesn't mean you have to make a judgment or hate as a result. I ask you to step into a deeper place of unity where we can start to see that things are polarized, but the more we pick a side and divide ourselves, the more we're adding to the bigger issue, which is the divide and the polarization. So underlying this energy is that in order for us to rise and evolve as a human collective and in our consciousness, many things need to come up to the surface. You can almost look at this like the energy of the collective is being triggered, right? So many hot topics, very poignant things are going to be said and done that stir up a lot of emotion in us, but they need to be stirred to come up to the surface in order for us to understand from a place of consciousness and awareness what is really going on in the world. We can't heal if we can't see what the underlying issue is or the matter is that needs to be dealt with. And the more we divide ourselves by picking a side and criticizing and judging others, who's wrong, who's right, we're opposite, we're completely separate, the more we are feeding into the problem. So I ask you to just try to take a step back and observe the differences. Observe matters at hand that are creating this feeling of divide. And I ask you to try to not make a decision or a judgment, and just to observe what's really going on behind the scenes. and to respect the fact that we all have different perspectives. We've all had incredibly different experiences. Everyone has different opinions, but we're all uniquely human at the same time, right? We all have a unique experience, but we're all human and we operate in the same way. We all have the same kind of inner ability to feel into the energy. We all have a consciousness and we're all connected. So it's almost like observing these collective triggers, okay? These triggers on a global scale create more healing in our communities and societies. They allow people to come together. They allow people to express justice. These triggers in society have to come up. This divide has to come up in order for us to heal the underlying matter, the underlying energy, okay? So please let me know if you have any questions about that, if that's challenging to understand. I know that it can be very challenging the first time we start to look at situations in that way and to eliminate the divide. And I kind of want to move on to the next point here, which the energy of July, and I believe this is going to be until for the next 4 months, till the end of the year. It's very important right now to focus on your self-practice, your daily practice, how you perform in your own life each day. And when we use the word practice and when we say the word practice, we're talking about what are your mannerisms? What are your ways? How do you manage your own energy? How do you manage your life? So to bring it down to the basics, how are you waking up in the morning, grounding yourself and setting yourself up for a successful day? So much of it has to do with mindset. But mindset is a word that is widely used. Mindset is controlling your energy, controlling your thoughts, your perception. Do you take time for stillness? We say meditation, but meditation could be taking yourself out for a walk, taking a moment to sit and just listen to your breath a few times before you start your day with a lack of consciousness. It's really about setting yourself up for success in your own personal energetic field. Taking time for the projects that mean something to you to progress your life in the direction of that which you want and desire. So self-practice is a really important part of staying grounded and centered at this time. And combined with self-practice is self-love and self-care. So remember how we were talking about in the beginning of this broadcast, we were talking about, flow and action, like going with the flow, taking time to rest, rejuvenate, recuperate, but also knowing when it's time to take action on your creative bursts of energy, creative flow, this rush of creativity, and being really careful not to burn yourself out. So even if it is taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes of just absolute stillness and observing what it's like to sit in the silence and in the quiet and to feel the peace, the stillness settle down inside of you, to pay attention to your thoughts and to listen for the guidance that's coming up. And that's kind of what I'm referring to when I say self-love and self-care. Hydration, for those of you who know me, I'm always encouraging everyone to stay incredibly hydrated, drinking water. We're made up of water. We respond to water. Water and energy have a very special relationship. And furthermore, the energy of this month of July is really, and this is when we really start to get into what I would call the meat and potatoes of the energy, this connection to our higher self, guys. We've gone through a massive energetic rush onto this planet. In the past month, we've had a multitude of eclipses. We've had a massive full moon, and there's been so much going on this planet. We are being supported in our ascension. The energy is supporting us in our consciousness. So observing the connection to your higher self, your connection to the universe. Some of you may be feeling intuitively like you have messages or images coming up in your mind. You may be feeling incredibly sensitive to the energy at hand. You may be able to feel into people or situations in a way that isn't the same as it has been previously. You may be feeling more grounded, or you may be feeling a bit more chaotic with all of these different energies that you're becoming heightened in sensitivity to. And that's why the stillness is going to be so important right now. Really gaining quiet and clarity and learning how to manage these abilities that are opening up. And in the stillness, we're able to connect to our higher self. So connection to your higher self, your guidance, making contact with your spirit teams, meditating, asking questions and listening for the answers, the signs, the symbols, and the synchronicities as they show up in our lives, right? And please let me know in the comments if this is something you've been experiencing, if you've experienced a rise in your energetic body, a deeper connection with your higher self, with your spirit teams. Let me know, because right now we are in a massive ascension period. But ascension is a gradual thing. It's not something that just boom happens. It happens step by step by step to give you a chance to acclimatize to the new frequencies and the new energies. But I really ask you during this month to honor those abilities that are coming forward. So that leads me to the last 2 points of this broadcast, which is around energetic experiences and awakening to purpose. So I kind of combine them together because they are kind of like hand in hand, skipping down the street. Energetic experiences, feeling more in tune with your clairvoyant or clairaudient abilities, the ability to see things before they happen, to feel into situations before you attend and decide maybe, no, I don't want to do that. It's like I've already gone there and experienced it and come back. And I know that that's not in alignment with my direction, my path, and my purpose. Having almost like a rise in your psychic abilities, just to put it bluntly. You may feel a wave of emotion come over you. Guidance may overwhelm you to kind of get quiet, settle down, relax, call someone. And when you do, they say, I was just picking up the phone and dialing your number and you rang. So there's these energetic experiences that we have. Some people experience an intensive ringing in the ears or fluttering of the heart space as our hearts start to open. You may feel strange sensations in your body as we start to ascend, right? So when we rise in frequency and when we rise in energy, we physically feel it in our cellular body. You may require a bout of rest. Maybe you sleep for 18 hours one day. It's a part of the integration. So as we rise in frequency during this ascension, our bodies need to catch up on a cellular level because we need to grow with the energy. It's like watching a flower bloom. You can't see the flower actually opening, but if you close your eyes and walk away for an hour, 2 hours, and come back, the flower will be open and blossoming. And it's the same thing with our energy. As we rise in frequency, we start to open up to our gifts, to our abilities. We start to sense things on a deeper level. You may have a heightened sense of smell. You may feel called to speak about things you've never spoken about before, but I ask you to please honor these energies, these gifts, these abilities, because as we all know, the more we use our gifts and our abilities, the more we get. And if you didn't know that, now you do. And this is what it means to awaken, right? Because we are a tribe of awakening souls here. Awakening to your purpose. You are being led. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Honoring what it means to be human. You know, we are the definition of duality. We are a human and we are a being. We're both. We are this limitless, infinite being, full of energy and vision and unlimited potential. Yet we're in this human body in the third dimension that has many, many limitations. And there's this constant tension and contrast, right? Now, our higher self and our energetic self, which is connected to the universe and all of the energy around us, will try to break through this dense third dimensional reality that we're experiencing here as humans and show us signs and synchronicities and help guide us on our path, the path that we're here to fulfill. And it's the path that we forgot when we were born. So our human life is all about remembering our path, our purpose, why we came here. And I ask you this month to really honor that awakening, the awakening to the higher self, the awakening to the energy and magnificence of the universe, the awakening to understanding that you are limitless, yet you are limited at the same time. I ask you to honor the guidance, direction that you are being shown. And to know that these things don't come with one solid answer. They come with a steady flow of following the signs, the synchronicities, intuition, and knowing that our life here is an unfoldment. So as you continue to following the breadcrumbs, the path continues to unfold. You can't know it all at once. So for this month, I want you to just relax with any plans that you have that may not seem like they're going according to schedule. And just, again, ease up, right? Go with the flow a little bit. Let yourself be guided as well as taking action. Your plans may shift, shape, and change, but you're still on the path. You're still going in the direction that you're meant to be going in, awakening to your purpose, awakening to the path, the journey that lies ahead. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for attending my update, my energy update for the month of July 2021. Please do feel free to reach out for more info on events, workshops, and programs that we're hosting. And, definitely get in touch if you'd like to schedule some sort of reading. I do Soul Path Akashic Readings. I do energy cord cutting and different ceremonies. And I have my email listed below. It's Lyndsay, Lyndsay, at accelerateyourlifeprocess.com. Or you can, of course, reach out to me in the DM. If you enjoyed this broadcast and you would like to see more, please do like, subscribe, share, and also comment, because it's just a way of showing your love. It helps my videos in the algorithm, whether you are on my YouTube channel, which is all about awakening, or if you're watching my private Facebook community, Accelerate Your Life 2021. And if you're not, I do encourage you to find us there. You are welcome to join us. And I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful month ahead. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video and broadcast.